Hi everybody, I'm Andy Murray from WhatCulture, and he is not.
You need GB to do a bit?
Yeah, we're recording, so.
Okay, so it's been a while since I've done this.
You're
all delighted that Adam Cleary's back on the news. This works, but his first story is about Apollo Crews.
Don't do that anymore, mate. Don't do that anymore. No more rhymes
anymore.
No more rhymes. Sorry, pal. Yeah, told not to, so.
Goodbye.
Up there.
God.
The big god.
Okay.
Cool. He does actually have a story about Apollo Crews. I don't know where the hell he's going, but after he's done that, I'm going to talk about CFOs. Are they still making WWE theme songs, or are they not? Jesus, Fenton.
My other story's about the Fiend. So
okay, well,
good.
And my other story is about Billy Ostrich, Will Ospreay, New Japan, new contract, bang, bang, bang. This is a really good introduction. Let's go.
Of the news.
This is the news. Anyway, we are going to kick things off by talking a little bit about Vince McMahon and the XFL. Oh, that thing launches in February 2020. Yesterday saw him announced via video, like 8 different teams, some based in New York, Seattle, Houston. Team names are out. There's the DC Defenders, there's the Houston Roughnecks, a bunch of other words. But also, this has led to renewed speculation on his status in WWE, because when the XFL was revived, when that news broke, it was always going to be the case that people were going to assume he was going to take a step back from WWE to focus on this new project. And we have an exclusive new update. I'm not going to tell you who it's from until after I've read the quote, because it's important to talk about. Who says, I am told Vince McMahon told his XFL circle, whatever the hell that means, that he'll step away from WWE for a very short period of time, depending on how the Fox and NXT moves go. If all 3 shows are steady by the time the XFL launches, he will indeed focus on the league. And that news comes from Brad Shepard. Now, with this source, it's important to acknowledge that he was right on the money for the initial XFL announcement. He got that news out before anyone else.
Very true.
Full credit there.
Track record.
However, if you pay attention to Reddit, if you pay attention to social media, you know that this fella has come in for a lot of criticism lately. Recently, he predicted he scooped on Sasha Banks' return 8 times before it finally happened, and then on that one show it did actually happen. On the one moment his broken clock got the time right, he took a victory lap and cut a shoot promo on Dave Meltzer and Mike Johnson for some reason.
I did quite enjoy that. From a spectator's perspective, it was quite a good one.
It was fun, it was good entertainment, but pinch of Shepard, as we always seem to see.
Yes.
Either way, it does stand to reason.
I mean, you're talking to the man who presents Last Minute Rumours here, for whom Brad Shepard's reports have got me into numerous trouble over the years. Also, I want to know what an XFL circle is, because it sounds grossly sexual. But this is, if true, good news, I think, because the less involved Vince seems to be getting with the televised product, I don't want to go so far as to say the better it is, but we're certainly seeing shoots of improvement, reasons to be hopeful. However, I'm just going to straight up say it, I don't think Vince McMahon is capable of looking at his product and thinking they're fine without him. I think the whole problem he's got is because he always thinks he knows best. It doesn't matter how stable NXT is, or how stable SmackDown is, or even how stable Raw is, you probably look at that and go, no, they still need my guiding hand of brilliance. So, yeah, this is very much one of the wait-and-see pile, but I can't believe February. That's honestly, when they first announced that, I was like, that is a million years away. I'll be dead by then, but I might actually live to see the XFL for the 6 months it's around.
Can't wait to watch it. Can't wait to see Simon
Can't wait to support the Battlehawks. They're the team I've decided to support.
Oh yeah, where are they from?
America. The America Battlehawks.
Well, my favourite team are the Brooklyn Bastards.
The Brooklyn Bastards?
Looking forward to seeing them do well. But yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. I don't ever see a future where Vince voluntarily steps away. I think when he does eventually concede power or give it over to Triple H and Stephanie or whoever the hell, it'll maybe because he's had to. Either because he's 90.
Can I just stop you? Is a New York Bastards a real team?
No.
But there could be.
The Brooklyn Bastards.
The Brooklyn Bastards, are they not a real team?
No, I made them up, mate.
Genuinely just thought, that could be right.
That
could be right.
Swansea
Should we start
Shaggers?
a team called the Brooklyn Bastards?
I'm up for it.
Alright, the Brooklyn Bastards.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm Frank Bastard.
You're
obviously.
Frank Bastard.
You can be Barry Bastard.
Barry Bastard from the pub.
Like a violent Chuckle Brothers.
Jesus God, should we move on to the next one?
Rest in peace, Paul.
Apollo Crews. Where are you on Apollo Crews these days?
He seems like a nice guy.
He's one of those people I put in the big shame, not the great shame, the big shame category.
Big shame.
He could do a lot, couldn't he? But they'll never, ever let him. Big fan of his in NXT. One of the first articles I ever edited for the wrestling section was predicting the next 10 WWE champions. And I will have to go back and check this. I think broadly it was quite right. It had like Rollins getting in there, had Ambrose, Roman. I think it was before Roman had ever won it. We're talking about 2015 or 2016 when we did this. And about 7 or 8 down the line was Apollo Crews. Like, they were very hot on him in NXT. He's got everything Vince McMahon looks for. He's very athletic. He's like very charismatic. You could see him getting on the main roster and maybe having a run with the belt. And I remember reading at the time thinking, hey, that Apollo Crews is going to be one to watch. Well, that was when the man was about 27, 28, as we all know good ages to be. But now he's 32. It's like the sort of ages we are in the office, which we all know are bad ages to be. And he's quite unhappy with his lot in WWE. Or rather, he said that he's not satisfied with his time in the main roster. He's done an interview with The Wrap, and I will read you the quotes. Now, I did, before I came on, practice an Apollo Crews voice. I have made the editorial decision to not do that.
Okay.
This will be in my voice, but it is the words of
Can
Apollo
you do his
Crews.
smile? Like,
I like my teeth.
yeah, me too, man. You do Jurgen Klopp's for that, really, don't you?
Yeah, it's not bad though. I'm also sorry that Wilborn's not here today because obviously there was elements of Apollo Crews' career which we'll get to, which hurrah would have been very good for him.
O'Neill, all that.
I wanted to come in here, this is Apollo Crews, not me, I wanted to come in here and shock the world, I guess you could say. I felt like I would have done much more at this moment in my career. But I'm still young, I'm about to be 32 in a couple of days. Mate, no, write it all off from here. And there's still a lot of time. I'm still very patient and understanding in how the process works. I trust the process. And then, yeah, they kind of asked him, like, you know, whether they thought King of the Ring would be a good platform for him. Unfortunately, he got basically got fed his own backside by Andrade in the first round.
Andrade beat his ass.
It's a shame because obviously Andrade is a great candidate to go very far in the tournament, but you need some upsets in there somewhere, and having a, an Apollo Crews run, now he's free of Titus Worldwide, would have been...
Might have been cool.
Might have been cool. Well, we're not going to get that. He basically said he didn't think that his defeat had diminished his options or diminished his chances at all. First of all, the talent that we have, in my opinion, I think is the greatest roster of all time as far as talent goes. So he's towing the company line. Because you've got to when you're in the company. We've all seen Seth Rollins doing it quite a lot these days. Even Cesaro, who many people feel is deserving of a
push.
Thank you very much. Has been out there saying that the company's actually really good. Things are in rude health. It's just kind of, you got to take the rough with the smooth, and not everybody can win all of the time. But I did do a little bit of research. I'd like to know how many matches Apollo Crews has won in the year of our Lord 2019 that were on television. Not including main event.
2,
4.
4, okay.
1 in the mixed match challenge with Ember Moon, who defeated Alicia and Jinder Mahal. He beat Baron Corbin when they were going 50-50 back in March. He beat Jinder Mahal in a minute and a half in April when they were just trying to bury Jinder. And then he had a 55-second roll-up win against Andrade.
I remember the
July.
Andrade one.
That's it.
I legitimately don't remember any of the others, though.
He has been in the ring for less than 10 minutes this year when he's been going over.
Wow. That's, yeah.
But of course, if you include main event, that number of 4 does jump up to 5.
Yeah.
So,
well, good. I think, like, when you talk about stuff like this, well, regardless of whether or not you think Apollo Crews should be like an upper mid-card or main event wrestler or not, I think it's always quite heartening to hear from wrestlers who value themselves higher than their card position. It's good to hear them speak up. You've got to, I'm going to turn into a cheesy, bloody life advice guru now, but, without a little bit of self-belief, you're not going to go anywhere, are you? So, it's good to hear. Whether or not this will actually result in a bigger push for Apollo remains to be seen, because, unfortunately, he has loads of positive qualities. He's a big, beefy boy. He looks like his physique is incredible. He looks like he was cast out of marble. He's got a great smile. He can do lots of flippy dippy doodads.
There's a standing moonsault.
Exactly.
I think it's the hardest moving wrestler.
He's got great power, great athleticism, all that stuff. Hasn't really, unfortunately, demonstrated the ability to cut a promo, which is a big thing. But WWE have never really given him a character either. Never really given him anything significant to sink his teeth into creatively. So I think he could do a little bit better. What his ceiling on the roster is up for debate. But, good guy.
I think it's up at mid-carder.
Yeah.
We've got so many. As he says himself, the roster is probably the best it's ever been, which by its very nature. Maybe politicians say all schools should be above average.
Yeah.
And physically, you can't do it.
Impossible.
Not everybody can be an upper mid-carder because you need a middle mid-carder and a lower mid-carder and bottom of the carders. So if the talent's the best it's ever been, then by its very extension, the entire bottom of the card, you will have very talented losers.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that's how they see him. A man who other people get over by beating because he looks very good and he is very good.
He can do like exciting stuff.
Look, I remember that bit in NXT. I think it was Corbin threw him out of the ring and went, "Go back to Ring of Honor."
Yeah,
and he'd never been in Ring of Honor. I was like, that's such a good gimmick for him. Like, oh, it's an indie guy.
It's great stuff.
Never actually been in an indie.
Yeah.
I like Apollo.
I like Apollo.
I feel bad for Wilbur more than I feel bad for him though.
Me too, man. Me too. Shall we move on?
Yeah.
And get your pinching figures at the ready again, folks, because we have a little report here from WrestleVotes, who tweeted yesterday saying, received a few questions asking about CFOs and WWE music.
No, you haven't. Everybody does it. Everybody ever said on Twitter, oh, a few people have been asking me lately, and I've done it myself. A few people have been asking me lately. No one's asked you.
And they go on to say, the relationship is in fact over, and it has been for a few months now. CFOs is no longer working with WWE in any way. However, there was a tweet earlier in the day from Arcade Songs, which I believe is some kind of management and production team who CFOs work for. They quote tweeted the WWE announcement that NXT was going to USA with the caption, "Something tells me that we're going to be hearing a lot more of CFOs." So, conflicting reports there. I think, you know, the WrestleVotes thing, again, like Shepard's report in our first story there, does stand to reason a little bit, because if you look at the 3 new songs we've had in WWE TV recently, right? The Fiend's entrance music was it's great,
so good.
but it was composed by Code Orange, that metalcore band. It's got their fingerprints all over it. The other new themes, Buddy Murphy and Elias, they're both generic as hell. And you know, I know a lot of people don't like CFO's loops, but they didn't sound like they came out of their lab whatsoever. They're just kind of boring, like they were on some kind of late 90s wrestling video game, and they were just randomly slapped onto these created wrestlers. So I think it'd be a shame if they left, man. Like, I know they get a lot of criticism because, you know, the themes are looped and stuff, but
wrestler's entrance theme.
Exactly. Like, an entrance for most wrestlers doesn't last any longer than a minute anyway, so what's the problem? What's the problem?
I've got a very strong opinion on CFOs because I see people criticising them quite a lot. And I genuinely think, if people hark back, I think there's some kind of glory day of Jim Johnson making all these excellent themes. Genuinely, music has just moved on since the 90s, believe it or not, and CFOs make absolutely incredible modern wrestler entrance themes across different genres that perfectly fit the wrestlers. Like, their back catalogue is just amazing. It's amazing.
Almost all of those songs hit. Like, Finn Balor's is one of the best WWE entrance themes maybe ever.
Sasha Banks is one of the most fitting entrance themes ever.
Even Apollo?
Apollo Crews is brilliant. Paige's, I think, was absolutely sensational. Everybody's on the main roster is they're just so good.
Yeah.
They're just so good.
Samoa Joe, like, fair enough, they got the first Samoa Joe song. Well, wasn't great, but the latest one, it's incredible. It's scary, it's foreboding, it's awesome. I, for one, hope they're sticking around because I love their work.
The overall product, the production element of the product would be a lot poorer without their work.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And we've seen a lot, one of the major criticisms AEW is getting is right now they haven't really had a hit with an entrance theme. There's one or two good ones. Kenny's is wrong, it's overlong, it's too grand for the character they're presenting as.
The lyrics,
Young Bucks one kind of works, I guess, and I think Hangman Page's is quite good.
Yeah, Page's is really good.
The production element of AEW is nowhere near WWE, so it's usually too low in the mix, and everybody else is just really generic.
Yeah.
And you lose a lot when you haven't got that, because part of the appeal of wrestling, man, whether we admit it or not, it's that entrance theme, it's a surprise, or it's the what's the word I'm looking for, the carnival sensibilities at the start of it all. Without proper great music, you lose a lot there, and CFOs produce proper great music for WWE. If they think that's somehow expendable, then they've not been paying attention for 20 years.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of the production values, and speaking of somebody who has got an absolutely excellent entrance theme, you enjoying the Fiend's work?
Love the Fiend.
Of course you are. Everyone is. It's absolutely brilliant. Well, let me tell you, Andy Murray, and shuffle yourself in for this one. The best is yet to come. Apparently, anyway, that's according to Jason Baker, who's one of the men behind the production element of it, who's been working with Bray Wyatt to produce the overall look, the mask, the aesthetic,
the mask, yeah,
and the Fireflies Funhouse sketch. Did an interview with GameSpot.
Interesting.
Why can't what's Wilborn playing at? He's meant to get us all these interviews, and like the guy who did the thing talking to GameSpot.
Yeah, come
on, Wilborn. I know you're watching.
Take that.
After him he's been asked about the Fiend character, his role in it, blah blah blah, and rather than taking the opportunity to douse himself in the spotlight and be like, yes, I am brilliant, aren't I the best? His first words are, all Bray's brainchild. I haven't worked on an impression of this guy, by the way, so I don't know what he sounds like. Well, he had these ideas, and we did some concept art, but it wasn't really hitting home with Bray, so we got really good sketch artist named Kyle Scarborough out of St. Louis to do some concept art for him. Those sketches were awesome. We took those and they brought them to life. So he didn't create the idea. He's saying this man came up with some of the concept art, but he brought it to life, effectively. Anyway, This is the really interesting bit. He was asked what the future holds. The future holds for the gimmick. And he says, well, I can't really talk about that. That's beyond my pay grade. And even if I did, I wouldn't talk about it anyway because that's the fun of it. Do you want to know what you've got before Christmas or wait with your friends to open your presents? Interesting that. Do you open your Christmas presents with your friends?
No,
I do it with my mum. Anyway, it's about waiting every week to see what comes next. So he says he's not going to say anything, blah, blah, blah. And then he says it. He says it. Fans need to keep watching because they haven't seen anything yet. If they think this is the greatest thing to ever happen, they just need to keep watching. It's going to blow them away. And I have to say, I buy that entirely because this gimmick could have got very tired and very old and very almost comical quite quickly, but it isn't. It's getting better and better and better. The Jerry Lawler segment was exceptional. If he reckons the best is yet to come, look, I mean, it's off camera, but can you see how wet my loins are now? Look
Get
at
them
this.
up.
I'm dripping.
Phil, get them up.
I'm dripping at the prospect. This has been the best thing on WWE television for ages.
Yeah.
Obviously, his arrival in ring was equally as good. Now it's the overall best thing I think they're doing at the minute. And if it's only got levels to go up, that's class.
That's ridiculous. I don't really see how they can improve on it, but if they can...
He's gonna kill a man.
Yeah. Oh.
He's gonna kill a man.
Which WWE wrestler would you most like to see the Fiend kill?
Hulk Hogan.
Okay, well, he is cancelled. Shall we move on to our final story?
Please.
Hulk Hogan's dead. Keep this one relatively brief. Billy Ostrich, Will Ospreay, one of the best wrestlers in the world, a guy who's probably #1 on a lot of people's Wrestler of the Year ballot, on the back of a truly exceptional in-ring year for New Japan Pro Wrestling. He is staying with New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Cancelled there. I was like, oh God, I don't know what this story is.
Don't cancel Ospreay, man. I like him too much. He has tweeted yesterday. A fan asked him, "Will you ever face Ricochet again?" Ospreay quote tweeted a response saying, "Never say never, but for the next 5 years, Will Ospreay is property of the Lion Mark." So effectively, Ospreay probably, we can assume, has signed a new 5-year deal with New Japan. Either that or he just wants to stick around for another 5 years, which will take him up to... He's still only 26 years old, which seems insane because he's incredible. But that'll take him up to 31. It's the best place for him to be. I reckon it's the only place, well, AEW might, but it's the best place for him to like express his in-ring art to the level he wants. And, you know, one day he might be IWGP Heavyweight Champion, and that'd be pretty cool.
He is comfortably, I think, having critically the best year.
Yes.
He's having the best 2019 of anybody.
Yes.
The matches have been just next
Bushi,
level after next
Shingo,
level after next
Tanahashi,
level after next level after next level. After Lance Archer, let us not forget.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that one. He's just... I don't know, man. Like, I don't know where else you could possibly want to see him. Like, anybody who wants to see him in WWE, I think, misses both the point of him and WWE. Yeah. They would never work.
Yeah, he's the perfect fit for New Japan in the same way that like Braun Strowman, who I love, is the perfect fit for WWE.
Yeah.
Certain people fit certain creative molds. Ospreay can really become a legend in New Japan Pro Wrestling on his current trajectory, and I look forward to seeing that
Absolutely crazy to think he's 26, which means when he was, not to beat the WCPW drum, but it is relevant experience to this story. He must have been 22, 23 when he first got in.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I know, it's
The guy's been around
ridiculous.
forever.
He's been working the British Indies since he was like 4. It's mental.
Since he was 4.
Shall we move on to the Twitter questions?
Yeah.
So the first one comes from Scotty Curtis, who's got the... Actually, I'm going to save that one for last because it's a banner. The first one comes from T. Dre, who asks, with it looking like 2 out of the 4 horsewomen will be holding titles when Survivor Series comes around, which combination of Sasha or Becky versus Bayley or Flair would you like to see?
Very easy. I want Becky versus Sasha to be a long-term feud.
Okay.
I really want to see that. I think it's the one of all the 4 horsewomen combinations. It's the one they've never really explored in depth. I think. Well, Bayley and Becky as well to an extent. We've got a little bit of that on SmackDown back in the day. Charlotte, Becky. You can wrestle. I wouldn't mind the WrestleMania again, but I don't want to see it until then. They've got so much more to do with that. Obviously, Bayley, Sasha, they've done to death a million times. Charlotte Bayley is a really interesting dynamic, I think, because you've got like the one who's really probably had the most success on the main roster versus the one who's floundered a bit. But given that the way they came in to the main roster, it was probably the other way around. Charlotte probably had the least success out of all of them in NXT, and Bayley was the poster child. Yeah,
Bayley kind of ascended after that Banks rivalry in NXT. For me, actually, the match I would like to see if they do the brand warfare, rival gang fight, whatever. The one I would actually like to see is Bayley Sasha, because we've never had that heel Sasha face Bayley on the main roster properly. And you know, the NXT match was like 4 or 5 years ago. I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be fresh. Either way, I don't really see how you could have a bad match out of any of these combos. So there's no real wrong answer there.
I still want to see four horsewomen.
So do I, but
Still want it.
Shafir and Duke, not yet. Next question is from Jobber C137.
To Mr. and Mrs. Jobber 317, a son.
Here we go.
I did that wrong.
Do you think this King of the Ring tournament will turn out the same as Best in the World tournament with Shane McMahon winning it? I certainly hope not.
I will go on a limb. I will put my neck out and I will say categorically right now that if Shane McMahon wins the King of the Ring tournament, I will buy $1,000 in WWE shares and watch the value of them crumble like dust before my eyes before selling them for a pittance. I will strap myself in, I will go along for the ride as this company circles the drain after what will surely go down as the worst creative decision of all time. Saudi shows are not canon, right? They might bring some of the banter back over with them, but they're not canon. WWE will do whatever they want over there because they do not care. They think nobody's watching. That's how they convince Goldberg and Undertaker to have a match when neither of them can have a match anymore.
Yeah.
On their own. No way. No, Shane's going. They're getting him off TV soon. Surely, please. No.
So in conclusion, Shane McMahon, King of the Ring 2019 confirmed. Last question comes from Scotty Curtis, who asks, we all love George Mizanin, obviously. Ms. Dad.
Don't tell me what I love. I do, but don't ever tell me what I
Not
love.
my dad, Scott. But who else is the best wrestler's family member to ever get involved in a storyline? Mine is very simple. You say WWE storyline here, I'm going to cheat a bit. Obviously, it's Judy Bagwell on the goddamn forklift. New Blood Rising, best match of all time.
Wendy Styles.
Wendy Styles. Cool.
For me, Jeff. Oh, wait, no. Goldberg's kid.
Mama Benjamin,
good. Goldberg's kid, because I've never had somebody so organically get themselves over as a despicable heel than when that kid took his top off and started dabbing.
Yeah.
People got really excited for the Goldberg Dolph Ziggler match because I just can't wait. I need to see Goldberg spear Dolph Ziggler. I had that exact emotion when the kid hopped off the turnbuckle. I was like, just turn around, get into it. I wanted him to split him in two.
Get him.
That's it. That's my opinion.
Like a rat.
Still sticking with Wendy Styles for me.
Wendy Styles.
Judy Bagwell is the correct answer.
Gang member. And speaking of wrestling families, moving on to our and finally today, there are a lot of great wrestling dynasties. Who's your favorite? Is it the Harts? Is it the Rougeaus? Is it the Flairs? Who's your favorite wrestling family?
Social outcasts, because while not bonded by blood, they were bonded by brotherhood.
Okay, well, my favorite wrestling family is the Bergs, and here they are, a family reunion. Just the other day,
That's so good.
as posted.
I'm so happy you didn't show me that before I came in. That's so
on Reddit
good.
Squared Circle by user Jimbo Numbers. Goldberg and Gilbert, the Berg family. Brother Henning in the background somewhere. Really good stuff. I like it.
I
Nice.
love this.
Bro.
I love this because he
Berg.
should hate him. He should really hate him.
Yeah.
But I bet they're good part. Well, they worked together, didn't they, when it was his first comeback?
This is also like a
Look
direct,
at that, man.
This is also a direct recreation of what happened the last time me and Simon Miller met up.
It is actually, yeah.
Obviously, I'm Goldberg.
Yes. Do you know what it is, right? It's Thursday, isn't it? You're getting towards the end of the week. Weekend's in sight. If you live in the UK, we've got a 3-day weekend, the bank holiday. And the weather's been a bit down and the news is quite grim and there's all that stuff in the Amazon and politics is even as bad as it always is. Do you know what it is? That's just a reason to keep going, isn't it? Like, that's the world does throw up these little gems every now and then.
When the world gives you lemons, look at a picture of Goldberg.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's all gonna be okay. Look, there's two types of people in this world, isn't there? There's Goldbergs and Gilbergs, right? You're sitting home, you're probably a Gilberg. We're obviously Goldbergs. We're alphas, right? But it's fine. Look at it. It's all gonna be okay. It's all gonna be okay.
Anyway, to close this 50-minute video,
I read a lot of poetry on my holiday. Read a lot of poetry.
Listen, we're all Robert Burns in the end. Thanks for joining us today, guys. I realise I've forgotten to do the whole podcast spiel, but if you like listening to these things rather than watching them, you can check them out on iTunes. The other one,
I've done so many of this beforehand. I should be able to do this.
Yeah, do this. We should have done this at the beginning.
If you're a fan of this sort of thing, don't forget to subscribe to WhatCulture on iTunes, Spotify, Acast, or whatever you get your podcast from for daily wrestling updates, a roundup of the week, Raw and SmackDown reviews, interviews, roundtable discussions, and a roundup of the week complete with a bloody good quiz, of course, on WrestleCulture.
All right, Will Bourne, that was really good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tremendous. He's here with us. I've been Andy Murray. You can follow me on Twitter. You can follow us at WhatCulture WWE. Send us your questions, all that stuff. Follow me on Twitter at Andy H Murray. The H stands for Hank. He's not Adam Wilborn.
Adam Cleary, CLERY. It all stands for Lipsy.
Crazy
Yeah, whatever.
lips eating really yellows. There we go.
There we go.
Anyway, that was really contrived, as is my existence. Goodbye. It's the boys.